Hi, welcome back to my channel, Open the Door. This is episode 93, Open the Door and Step Outside, the healing power of nature. So I talk about nature a lot on this channel and how I spend a lot of time outdoors and use that regularly as a tool in my healing journey. But did you know that healing really isn't found in a book or behind closed doors? It's not found in a tarot deck or talking to some spiritual guru. It's waiting for you right outside in nature. Getting communion with Mother Earth, also called Gaia, G-I-A-I, which comes from the ancient Greek mythology. So throughout this episode, you'll either hear me refer to our planet as Mother Earth or Gaia at times. So here's some science for you to begin with. The Earth's electromagnetic resonance, the vibrational frequency that the Earth vibrates at, is called the Schumann resonance. And it's electromagnetic waves that have been measured. They exist between the Earth's atmosphere and between the surface and the ionosphere above the Earth. So the baseline of the Schumann resonance is 7.83 hertz, but it can fluctuate due to solar flares, geomagnetic storms, and even human-made electromagnetic interference. The Schumann resonance was named after a man named Winfried Schumann, a German physicist, and in 1952 he mathematically predicted the resonant frequencies of the Earth, which were later confirmed by experimental data. So here's some more info about the Earth that research has shown. Being in nature reduces cortisol, which is our stress hormones, and lowers our blood pressure. Also boosts our levels of serotonin, which regulates our mood and emotions and sense of well-being. Fresh air and sunlight have been found to improve our mood. They can distract us from overthinking, and they bring you into the now. In Japan, there's something called Shinrin-yoku, which means forest bathing, and it literally translates to taking in the forest. So the concept behind this is to slow down and be present with nature. Absorb the healing power that's around you. It's considered a mindful immersion in nature with using all five senses. And it's not for the purpose of hiking or getting exercise. It's more about connecting with nature. So the spiritual connection between nature and the earth. Well, nature is a reflection of the divine flow and universal energy. Universal energy is a living conscious being, and that's what we observe and witness out in nature. Many spiritual traditions see Earth as a sentient, nurturing force. So what I'm getting at is that the Earth is an actual living, breathing being. In the indigenous cultures, ancient traditions, and even in modern spirituality, they all recognize Earth as an energy source, and we can connect to that source for healing and even guidance. Yep, that's right. So here's how it works. Here's a couple techniques that I've used and you can try to get more in touch with nature and the earth and gain these healing benefits. The first one I have for you is something called earthing. And that's a direct physical connection with the earth. So one way to do that would be walking barefoot as we absorb the earth's negative ions, and that'll help balance our energy, reduce our stress, and improve well-being. Trees, sentient beings in and of themselves, are known as natural healers. They absorb negative energies. They provide stability and wisdom. Here's a little heads up for you. If you like documentaries, I came across a documentary on my flight home from India numerous years ago. I watched a documentary called The Secret Life of Trees, and the actress Judi Dench was in that. It's an excellent, excellent documentary, and they're using some scientific research to show how trees not only are living, breathing things, but communicate with each other and assist each other. So the trees were sending nutrients to sick trees near them to help these trees heal and get better. It was really fascinating. The Secret Life of Trees. Check it out. Okay, another way to connect to this healing power of the earth is through the use of water. So flowing water is a purifier, and it's a cleansing force. It can wash away our negative emotions and our blockages, and clears our energy for renewal. So I often, when I'm out in nature, the hikes and walks that I take are usually near a stream or a river. Or one park I go to has a big pond where there's geese and ducks that hang out there, and I like to go there too. So when I'm near a flowing body of water, say a river or a stream, I like to use some visualization. And the way I do that is I'll stand. There's a bridge that I stand on that runs through one of my paths. So when I'm facing one way on the side of the bridge, I'm looking downstream. When I'm facing the other way, of course, I'm looking upstream. But what I like to do with my visualization is let my energy go with the flow of the water. So facing downstream, and I release my past pain and frustrations, anger, whatever's kind of on my mind and heart that day. I release it into the water with thanksgiving, with unconditional love and thanks. Anything that I release that I no longer care to hold on to, I always release it with unconditional love and forgiveness. But I'll then turn and look upstream and see how much power there is in that flowing water, and realize how much strength it would take to stand facing upstream, fighting that resistance the whole time, as opposed to turning and facing downstream and letting everything just flow and release and flow. So that's a little trick that I use with water. Anyway, the cycles of the earth do mirror our life cycles. There's growth and decay and renewal and ebb and flow constantly going on in our lives, and of course with nature too. And all we have to do is pay attention to the seasons. If you're fortunate enough to live in a place that has a change of seasons, you see that ebb and flow in nature all the time. So there's signs and messages in nature that, if we're open to it and paying attention, we'll pick up these signs. So here's the story for you. This is 2025. So last fall, I guess. No. It would have been farther along. It would have been farther back than that. Early last year in 2024, I was on a highway. I was going 70 miles an hour. I was in the center lane, and out of the corner of my eye on the left, I saw a large deer run out into the middle of the highway. A person in a pickup truck next to me swerved out of the way, but the deer ran right in front of me, and I actually made eye contact with it before I hit it with the front right corner of my car. I was okay. The car was damaged. I was okay, but boy, was I shook up about that. And when the police and the rescue people came, I was crying, and they were asking, was I injured? And, I was a little stiff and sore, but the main reason for the tears was the deer. I had injured this deer, and I had not killed it. And it took off running after I hit it. And the police went out to search for it to see if it was severely injured and laying in a ditch somewhere, and they couldn't find it. So for the next several days, I kept seeing in my mind's eye these brown eyes of this deer that looked at me, and I looked into its eyes right before I hit it. And because I do love nature, and I love all living things so much, my heart was just tore up over this deer. I was thinking about, where is it now? Is it suffering? That was the main concern for me, was it suffering? Okay, so a couple more days later, I decided I was ready, and I went out on a walk. And I was walking through a woodland. It was a manicured trail, but it does go through woods a few times. So I was walking through the woodland, kind of looking down, and I heard a little noise, and I glanced up, and right on the side of the trail were 3 deer standing there, just staring at me and wagging their little tails. It was so sweet. And I was not startled. I was surprised, but I didn't startle them. I just stopped and held very still and started to talk to them. And I felt like I was communicating with these deer, and that it was Source, our Creator, God's way of placing these beautiful animals on my path to comfort me and kind of give the message, which I received, that the universe knew I didn't hit that deer on purpose, and I could stop beating myself up over it. But while I stood there and mentally communicated with these deer, a couple more deer came along, and within a few minutes, there were 6 or 7 deer standing there on the side of the trail, just looking at me and communicating with me. It was pretty special. Tears just streaming. I wasn't crying like sobbing. It was more like weeping when the tears just flow and flow and flow. So that was a beautiful message from nature, letting me know that it was okay and I could stop blaming myself for that. So being outside in general helps with our grounding, our sense of presence, and can increase our intuition and mental clarity as well. So here's a couple tips before I close this out of how to deepen your connection to Gaia, our Mother Earth. Spend time with nature intentionally. Do that earthing thing where you walk barefoot. Sit under a tree for a while. Sit in a park and listen to the sounds without distraction. The second tip I have for you to deepen your connection to Gaia would be to honor nature's cycles. So align your life with the seasons and slow down when it's winter and fall. Pick up the pace, get more active during the spring and summer. Practice gratitude and always be grateful for all the beauty in the earth around us. That's pretty important. Work with Earth's energies. Use things like crystals, herbs, and the natural elements through prayer and meditation. Practice grounding techniques like deep breathing and use that rooting technique to ground yourself to the earth. So tune into Gaia's messages. Pay attention to signs like the signs and messages that I got from the deer after hitting that deer, shifts in weather, and also synchronicities. So just don't just go outside. Consciously connect with nature. Turn off your devices, take a walk, and take your time. It can be about fitness, but more importantly, it's about the fitness of your mind and your spirit. There's so many opportunities to connect with our beautiful planet. Just walk out the door, spend some time out there, and see what happens. This is our episode for today. The healing power of nature. I've got some more videos lined up here, so I'm going to sign off for now. I'll see you again soon. I hope you're doing well. Sorry for the little bit of delay. I was busy working on the book this week, and I will share the book with you pretty soon. Pretty soon, we're getting closer. So stay well. I'll see you again soon. I wish you peace, love, and light. That's it. Bye for now.